match.
Your orange is red.
It's multicolored. I washed all my clothes last night, but not that. So on that note, I killed last night. So
welcome back to the chase, I guess.
Day 2 of our stuff is not going to be on here, but
yeah. No, we've got an awesome episode for you guys. Like I mentioned on the last episode, we've been doing some hunting out here at the river farm. Mike has been nice enough to let us have pretty much free reign. So big thank you to you, Mike. We're going back in tonight. We're actually splitting up. So far we've been hunting together, myself and Rye, and we've got Tony still to get after. So these guys are gonna go onto that oxbow plot.
I'm gonna be on the oxbow with my bow. Yep. If he comes by in bow range, I'll shoot him. If not, Dave has a muzzleloader tag and Tony's gonna be his first deer. Regardless of what happens tonight, Dave's gonna get his first deer. That's gonna happen. Yep. So we'll have that. He's been hunting on public land, and we're gonna show you guys some of those hunts as well. And then I killed in the merino plot last night, and that's where you're going to get the other lookalike Tony, because apparently there's 2 of them. So that's a whole nother story you'll catch up with on the main show.
Either way, we've got hopefully an awesome hunt ahead of us. Great content to bring to you guys on this week's episode. And you know, just looking into tonight, hopefully we have some action. And if we do, we'll show it to you. If not, you'll see it on the main show.
Who's your target tonight, Zeb?
No one, because I don't have a tag.
Poor Zeb.
Goodbye, hunting time. Thank you, Mike. Welcome back to the Chase Office Edition, brought to you by Ryan and Gavin. We are on the river farm with 3 days to kill some stuff. Let's go. Mike and Josh are at ATA, and Mike said, you boys go have at it, so thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
And we've got 2 main targets. One is Tony. He's the deer we're going to try and get killed over the next 2 days. And then the 10 that, if you guys watch Mike's chase video, you can see what happened with that. I ended up punching my release halfway through my draw and had him at 40 yards. And anyways, that's one of the coolest tree stand hunts you will see in late season. We had 40 plus deer in bow range at one time. I think there was 30 of them at once. I mean, as a cameraman, I did not know where to point the camera. So if you guys haven't watched that, go check it out. We've also got some doe tags to fill, possibly think about getting Dave a deer if we can. You know, the next 3 days, I am fairly optimistic of our chances of doing some fun stuff. So we've got Zeb over here, does not have Iowa residency, so he's just gonna run the camera, but he hasn't been out in a while. Actually, you were with Josh last night. Did you have fun? There you go. I don't know, so who knows what this episode of The Chase is gonna hold, but we'll bring it to you. See how the hunt goes. You see our setup for tonight. 8-acre bean field, bedding over there, and you see that right there? That's a fawn. We'll show you that in a second, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Mike just walked baby 8 off. Kinda. Well, that was a freaking awesome hunt, you know. I think we saw every deer that we would expect to see on that side of the farm, except for Tony. So, baby 8, gosh, that deer, it reminds me a lot of the 8 that I shot back my intern year, and just like, yeah, he's going to be a stud. And saw the split 2-8 too, the deer Mike was hunting at the end of both seasons, so he'd be a great deer to see what he does next year and have a late season target over here. Super big frame, just a beautiful looking deer, good mass, just wild. I couldn't even tell you how many deer we saw. So it's what you asked for with late season, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Not 100% sure what the plan is as far as where we want to sit. We can definitely sit that blind again. We can sit, I have an inclination to hunt on the other side of the central timber in actually where I shot the big 8 and blow southwest, but thinking maybe Tony's bedded along the river. But we'll make that decision sometime tomorrow, and I think there's potential for me and Gavin to split up and cover more ground as well, but we shall see. So I'm gonna go home, turn the heat on. Actually, I'm gonna turn the heat on and then go home and yeah, see what's for dinner.
I have not killed a deer ever. It's been a fun year putting in all the work behind the scenes. If I get my first one in the snow today on January 2nd, that'd be pretty insane. It just feels cool to be out here. I don't know if it's just that, or I don't know, I have a good feeling. Saw a couple does pop out in this cornfield straight to our north. Try and get up there before more deer start piling out. If they do, then be more in the game. Pretty intense last few minutes there. It looked like a pretty nice 10-point. I couldn't tell. He looked pretty good to me, and thought about trying to get closer to him, but as soon as I got up to try and get closer, he picked me off, and he was just sitting there staring at us for a while until it got dark, and then he worked off back into the timber to our north. Hopefully we get a couple more opportunities to get out, because I would love to come back here and see if we can't see that buck or a different one again. We're going back to the same piece of public we were at 2 days ago, and we had that encounter with that buck. Thinking about the setup afterwards, I really don't think it sets up that great for a bow shot. So I also have a late muzzleloader tag, so I am bringing the muzzleloader tonight. It's really great to be able to get an opportunity to go. They've been few and far between this year, so grateful to the guys for giving the green light, and I'm looking forward to tonight. That was a fun sit. We had that group of 2 does and 2 fawns come out. They crossed the fence and went into a cut cornfield. He had one more doe come through and read the script, just feed down that hillside. Just didn't have a buck come through tonight. Today is kind of an unexpected hunt. I was planning on getting some work done today, and I had Rye call me and say, get your work done at night, go hunt, try and get a deer. So thank you, Rye. We're heading to a different piece of public than we've been hunting the last few times. We're gonna rick over there. It sets up well for a south wind, which is what we have today, so we'll see what we can't get into. Good job with you guys. We set up in this kind of brushy area and got good cover behind us, and the wind is blowing directly over our shoulders. Can see a good ways into some bedding to our west. It seems like an area there's a lot of deer. Zeb and I were walking back, there was a ton of sign. So we're gonna settle in, see what we can see. That was a pretty exciting encounter with those 2 fawns. They were right there, probably 10 yards away from us. They were going downwind of us, and then I don't know if they smelled us or if they saw Zeb trying to film them, but took a risk that deer were going to come from that direction, and sure enough they did, and didn't see any movement after that. Although we didn't kill the night, we are actually heading to help Rye and Gav with the recovery. Sounds like Rye got a buck down at the river farm. Super happy for Rye. He's been grinding all year, and looking forward to getting over there and celebrating with him.
much of that gut pile left.
You did say there were a lot of coyotes, huh?
There was a ton of them on camera last night, like even when we were at the farm. Feels good.
Ready to do it or what?
Tony's gonna die with a bow. Sorry, Dave.
It's all good. I want you to go. You guys have a little bit of history together.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a minute since I've been in front of the camera rather than behind it, but last day of season here, January 10th, and we're making one last push out here on the river farm. Myself and Rye are actually out here. Rye's sitting on the other side of this chunk of timber Mike calls the central timber in a plot called the Oxbow plot. It's a Rut Greens plot over there, but we are here at the Merino plot sitting over these monster buck forage beans. This is where Rye killed last night. Big congrats to you, Rye, by the way. Again, it was awesome being in the blind with him for that. And we'll see how tonight goes. I mean, we have this other Tony lookalike, this just kind of a short time 10, big bodied, kind of a hunchback, which is kind of interesting, but he's been down in this south end of the farm, kind of ruling the roost ever since I shot my buck back in October. Mike shot Vinny, and feels great out. It's overcast, spitting snow a little bit. Feels cold. The pressure's fairly low and stagnant, but I feel like they ought to move decent tonight, but we'll see. We also have Tony on the list. I forgot to mention him. He's more or less the reason that we're in here. Those guys are hopefully in the chips on Tony. He seems to be, at least for the lack of not seeing him out here, he seems to be over towards that Oxbow plot. So we'll see if they can get it done tonight. We'll be able to hear it if they do, at least if Dave shoots off with the muzzleloader. But I am going to try to go ahead and shoot a doe as well at last light if, you know, nothing comes out that we want to shoot with antlers on its head. So we'll see. Feels like a great night. Excited for the hunt. They're getting a little too close for comfort. Let's shoot this old girl. Yeah. drop her?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good shot, dude. Well, that's all she wrote for that big doe. That was pretty awesome. That's actually my first deer I've ever killed with a gun, believe it or not. I've only shot deer with a bow, so felt good. Mike's muzzleloader definitely does the trick. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the doe. Thanks for the muzzleloader. But I've had a good night so far. I mean, there's a good group that came out. And then there were actually a bunch that were coming kind of from like behind the blind a little bit, towards the south plot, coming through, and that doe was like right at 100 yards, popping out through that switchgrass. Didn't take long, so pretty excited about that. Good meat in the freezer on the last day. Can't ask for much more. Pretty happy about that. I love it. This is what it's all about, man. Great day to be out. January 10th, last day of season. It's been a fun one, that's for sure.
Well, we all kind of linked up, and we are back here basically where the doe fell. Not 100% sure where she's at, but she didn't go anywhere, so we'll just look around, and I'm sure she's not too far.
She wasn't far off the plot, was she? That's my kind of track shot.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
A little high, but
She did.
I'll take that.
That's your entrance or exit?
That would be my entrance, yep.
Big old girl.
Yeah, she is. That is a big doe. Dude, look at her head.
Look at those shed pedicles.
She has a dome on her.
Big old girl.
That is a big doe.